I'm not. Okay, talk. There's always that moment. We're talking about.
I said, there's always that moment that people have, I think, when there's a moment where they want someone to talk them out of it. You know, when it gets right down to it.
We're talking about violence and how there's
the guy didn't really want to hit the girl with the thing, but why he picked up the baseball bat, I don't know.
I just made a little speech.
And the girl was screaming, it was all out of control. And she said, "Are you gonna hit me with that? What are you gonna do with that baseball bat?"
I just dedicated this thing, I said, to the bravest person I ever met. And not because of that either. It was for other things. But the bravest person I've ever met. We've been tormented. All kinds of things. Just like completely. We've been fighting for our lives. And she's in the same town as these monsters. With a business.
I think I've rounded the bend. I don't think I'm going to die tonight. Last night I didn't know. But tonight I feel like I'm not going to die.
No, I'm gonna finish some stuff. We're treating everything.
I'm getting more air right now.
Yeah.
It's still kind of bad, but
I just treated the place with oxygen. What happens is, this is an insidious thing, and the city of Pasadena knows about it. It's you could consider it a biological weapon. Oh, that's for sure. They know about it. They've protected these so-called owners, and we're talking about 2194, 2192 East Corson Street, Pasadena, California. We're making this, and we already got thousands and thousands of videos out there, but they're cloaked. But we're making this so people who see it understand that there's a lot of feeling went on. We've been living under the threat of death and struggling for our own lives. And I realized lately, I just realized today, that actually it was the last couple days, I don't have to worry about them shooting this anymore. Because all they have to do is just sit back and let us die. And we've been struggling with this for over 18 months now. It's about 18 months. The city turned their back on us, and then not only that, they jumped in to help the owner and made us responsible for things that. But we did come up with some technology that's like insanely good, and it's natural. It's all natural. I've been working on stuff. And so is she for years and years and years. And a lot of the works I've done and the discoveries I've made, I haven't published. But I've released enough to various organizations, including people from Johns Hopkins and JPL, other places, that they've been using my technology subtly. And I see it all around. And I'm telling you this out of respect for nature, out of respect for the infinite, everything, and out of respect for each and every single life, no matter who it is, who they are, the color of their skin, anything, but out of respect for each and every person, an animal, and everything. Because without that, we're not really human, are we? What they did over there was not only criminal, and the hard thing is to describe what the crimes were, but the crimes are numerous. And when you have a group of people that get together and sit down and decide that they're going to allow people to move into a place which they deem worthy of it, in order that this place, and see how long it kills them, or how long they get sick, or this and that, how long their system works, and how, if they can build on it. They just want to know when they can start building, if the ground is not so toxic, because it's already mapped out. They're putting up twice as many apartment buildings as is allowed. by the planning department. And the way they're doing that is that they're doubling the the way they're concealing their crime is that they actually have two sets, not one but two sets of addresses for each property. One is 2192 Corson, which is the legal address, and one is 2192 East Corson, which is the actual address, because Corson runs east. That's it. All the way through Pasadena. Now, this site I discovered quite by accident when we had a sewage flood, and they just turned their back on us and didn't do anything. They promised help and stuff, but it was major. And in the process of it, I had to open the thing up, and I found out the problem was that there was no sewer pipe hooked up. It was non-existent, and it was actually removed. And the sewer inlet was cut, and on a P-trap in the yard that I found later, 4-inch. And this went right by the new electrical service, which they would have had to have seen. And not only that, smelled, because we're talking about a layer of topsoil. Underneath the layer of topsoil is another layer of soil. Okay? Underneath that layer of soil is a layer of biomatter, bio-waste, bio-sludge, sewage sludge, okay? Probably right out of the treatment plants before it was actually treated, the sludge part. That was applied over the entire backyard, which is comprises 1/5 of an acre, approximately 10,500 or 10,000, 300 feet, something like that. Anyway, so underneath that layer of sludge is a layer of compacted, oil-soaked, clay-like, very fine, silty dirt with little parts in it, and things like pull tabs, and I found some cans and other things. And I dated it. I went on the internet and stuff, and I dated most of the stuff to like it's 1973 in that layer, which is about a foot down. Okay, and then underneath that layer, all right, is like muck of some sort. It's just like the thing will fall, the pipe and stuff. There's hollows, and the whole house in the back is sinking. But I cut through this stuff, and there's just no way that the stench would just kill you. And this was on a run of about 150 feet. I had to find the sewer inlet. We were at this property, and we really invested a lot of time and energy into it. We had an 18-month lease, and we're making it into a design center. And we already had plans and the means and ways to purchase a building. And we were already looking at that in another area after we kicked this off. And we were going to have public shows, and that was it. We figured we'd work on it for about 6 months, set it all up, and then go from there. It was worth the investment for the art, as well as the to have the open area for the natural products that we discovered and been working on for years. We found the cure for poison oak, the absolute cure for it, and have used this technology to morph it into some very sophisticated healing type things and soaks, which has saved our lives outright, and it's brought a lot of comfort and relief to others as well. We have many, we've given away thousands of pounds of it, never sold it, ever once. And so anyway, so we're research scientists at heart. I'm really dedicated. I lived in a laboratory. It was a place I had a cleaning business, and I would restore leather and any kind of fabric. If I couldn't, my policy was showroom fresh or no charge, and this would be mounted on upholstery. So high-end stuff, some of the stuff was worth, I don't know, $20,000 from the '50s, and all the, I didn't have any competitors except for the reupholsterers, and that was my policy: showroom fresh, no charge. I morphed into rock, stone, concrete, you name it. I can pull anything out of anything, pretty much, as well as set most anything into anything. And you'll see by my work on the Casa web links and stuff like that I know what I'm talking about. But my cleaning technology had to go into as a health technology to save my life and hers, subsequently hers, and we've been saving our lives back and forth now for quite a while. And so we want to put out some basic stuff that anyone can use, because let me tell you, it's here. And when you see what's going on here, and when you see what these officials and city people, who knows how far it's spread, it's unbelievably bad, okay? And they're going against their own charter, their own laws, their own rules, their regulations, everything. And they're so powerful that you can't. There's no one that can do anything. We are, thanks to our lawyer, Akuza Uzul, we, lost our, whatever, our rights, everything. We had an open and shut thing. There was no occupancy there. The chief of the occupancy program department in Pasadena, John Pollard, was on site, and in writing, he told me he was going to file and everything. File no, nothing. So and they worked hand in hand with these people. But what I'm saying is there's a way out of it. What we went through, no one should go through. I'm going through it now, but I see a way through it naturally. And when I say it, I'm talking about what most people consider as cancer and all kinds of different diseases and everything. And it pretty much boils down to two things: fungus and bacteria. And what happens is they get thrown off in your system. They've gotten smarter. They've joined forces, and now they're really, 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 really smart. You have to remember that fungus is responsible, and bacteria, for making oxygen, breaking the rocks into this and that, the molten light. It's without that there's no life. So to want to kill these things is wrong, and we have to take a new approach and a different stance. We don't want to kill the bacteria anymore, and we don't want to kill the fungus. All we want to do is to repel it and not allow it to propagate in an area. It won't like it, and it'll just go and not be there. Same with our bodies. Instead of wanting to put all these drugs in our bodies and all these other chemicals and things that basically break us down, and like the retrovirus now. The retrovirus has been around for a while for asthma. All right, you take that little puppy, and basically what it does is it goes in and suppresses a part of your immune system, which will allow the drug, the medicine, whatever you want to call it, to actually work and do its thing and get rid of the asthma type stuff. Now, what they don't tell you is actually they're giving you worms. It's a parasite. And the worms go in and create an area. What they do is they swim to parts of your brain, other parts of your body, and they actually turn off your immunosystems. They go through your whole endocrine system. It's ugly. and for the rest of your life, pretty much, you have to take their thing out. H1N1, engineered. There's even a patent for it.
So they create the war. They choose
So
the war. Your body.
what we have is we have actual war on the citizens of Pasadena and other places. I just know about this one though. War on the actual citizens of Pasadena by people who are in office over there. I don't know how far it goes, but I just know that there's a ring of corruption, and there's a lot of people that just don't like it at all. And there's a lot of people that have been harmed. And by the grace of God and everything else, from the ground and earth, and the Great Spirit, infinite, the universe, everything, we're alive.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much unbelievable considering what we've had to go through, and considering the sheer magnitude of this. They were setting us up for murder, arson, everything else. And for some reason, I don't know, I don't talk to a lot of people, but when I do, I have this ability that people just blurt out the first thing that comes to their mind. They somehow, some way, tell me the truth. So I believe in honesty. And I believe in love. Because that's what's going to save our world. Because we're on the brink. It's on the brink. And the reason why these two elements, the bacteria and the fungus, are joined is to put a balance back on the earth. Because we're slowly snuffing it out with the oil, the food that we eat, and the sewage, subsequently the sewage that we're dumping. It's got so many toxic chemicals in it, it's because we produce it out of our own butts. Because of the stuff we're eating, okay? And not only that, there's other things, and the stuff we're using, there's no need for it. Why would anybody want to use something that would kill your dog, or your cat, or your anything, your baby, if they drank it accidentally, or if you got it on your thing? Why would anybody want to use anything that you had to use a respirator for, or a rubber suit? If you got to use a respirator for something, you got to use a rubber suit. Otherwise, you're absorbing it through your skin, okay? And the respirator's got to be full face, and you got to have your ears plugged, and you got to have at least, grease on you. Because whatever it is, it's going to be in there, with the exception of dust, even dust. Now we're talking about most dust, you don't realize this, but the dust you see is not a dust piece. There's a whole colony, a giant colony of billions of little tiny dusty things. We're talking nanoparticles, and when I say I'm not talking nanometer, I'm talking next level. I'm talking nano-inch. But it's smaller than that. So if it's even dust, it's going to pass through your skin into your system, and you're not going to do a fucking thing about it. Alright? And what happens is this stuff is so intelligent that it starts manipulating your actual DNA. So you replicate cells that it wants in order for it to create an environment inside your body. They call that cancer. They call that malignancy. They call that what is that shit called? Runaway. It's a mutagen. There's lots of names for it. And it's different than tumor. But anyway, it's all fungus or poison. Tumors are like poison in your body. That's why, you see these things and they're going, oh, yeah, there's all these things, and look at it. There's veins and arteries and shit coming off of it, right? And this hard shell. Oh, it's a tumor. It's a tumor. Well, here's what happens. If you got some smelly old socks that you just peeled off your feet because you just got off of a 3-day hike without changing your shoes, or you're detoxifying, and which we constantly are, then you put the socks in a bag and you wrap them up, right? Right? Yeah, you do. Now, imagine that you got more socks going in there, right? Oh, a lot more jackets and all this other bullshit, because you're, putting nothing but bullshit in your body, all right? And we're all being fed these lies and what have you. So it's simple. We go back to earth. But what happens is, like, you got to open and close that bag, right? A bunch of times. So you got to put some devices on it and stuff, right, to keep that bag fluxing. They'll open it up, so some drawstrings, right? And now that bag's got to get bigger. Now you got to be able to make it bigger. So maybe you put, some hoses in there, so you can fill it up with air, right, when you need to. Same as the human body. And we have these things all over us. And what it does is it saves our fucking lives by taking the poison and stuffing it into a little container. Okay? Now, what happens is when you start or you stop doing something that you've been doing for a while, it doesn't matter what, but if it was poisoned your system and you've been craving it, chances are these unnatural cravings and these hardcore cravings and stuff are coming from a fungus or a bacteria or both or one and the same, from my calculations anyway. So what happens is that you got to realize that they're creating an environment inside of you by pushing your buttons and making you want these things and crave them and get them and eat them. True Hindus and true, not true Hindu, but vegetarians will not eat corn. Will not eat corn. It is not a vegetarian dish. It is not a vegetarian thing anymore. Corn has been altered by Monsanto and Dow Chemicals, what have you. As other things are, and they use bug parts in it. Okay, bug parts. And this is to make them resistant to the chemicals that they have to sell. The guy, Dow Chemical, sells the chemicals for Monsanto's corn. And if you don't have Dow Chemicals to throw on the stuff, your corn dies and you're screwed. Screwed. And that's the whole point, see, is to gain a worldwide hold on the food. The corn is not food. We shouldn't eat it. It is not food. And they took a good thing and screwed it up. Let's use the old style corn, but let's get on to something else. Now, what happens is this. There's another thing that happens. It's called fungus. Now, you breathe it every day, but you get exposed to it in concentrations in high places where dampness is, whatever. And it goes into your lungs and starts growing, especially, well, aspergillus, the aspergillus family, the penicilliums and the stachybotrys and all those. They're bad, but there's a single fungus on this planet that is the most prevalent of all things, and that is the aspergillus family, whether it be Niger or, that's the one that we were doing. Flavius is the strongest one, but I tend to think this was Niger. But anyway, it'll grow a ball inside of you and inhibits your breathing, and it'll go into your brain and give you a lot of problems. People die from it. It's called aspergillosis. It's been used as a bioweapon for years and years. It's an actual weapon of mass destruction when you concentrate it. They use it to make soy sauce. It's in every square centimeter of the earth, and concentrated and harnessed, it's an incredible thing. But it's incredibly dangerous as well. It creates hundreds, if not thousands, of chemicals at will. It has endotoxins, exotoxins, all kinds of stuff on the outside of its skin. It's like tubes, and it's just the most beautiful thing. But it's the most dangerous, a very dangerous thing too. Now, because of the ground and the sewage mixing over at the ground over there, and the fact that they had some weird chems rising up through the surface that would get everybody just high as a kite who went in the back once they opened the yard up. We couldn't stay there for like the last 2 months before the city forced city intervention by hazmat. And anyway, so there's an incredibly dangerous thing that's over there, and what you need to realize is that your body is most likely acid. So what you want to do, and you have the bloods and this and that, is to drink baking soda as directed on the box to lower your pH. It'll make gas. What we found was that we could drink like something like lemon juice water. This is funny as heck. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but it really works. And we take lemon juice type water or low pHs. Drink that. Wait for, I don't know, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, and then drink some baking soda. And then you burp your brains out. It drops the thing. It makes carbon dioxide kind of. But what happens is the carbon dioxide reacts with the cells inside your body, and it creates oxygen. It gives you quite the boost and clears your head. And that's the whole thing here. Is what I deal with is, and her too, and well, not as much. This thing is T cell specific. Is what I found. So it's not like you can't. It acts just like poison oak, poison ivy. So when you're hit with this thing, I call it a thing. I actually have a name for it, but it goes after your T cells and uses them against you. And you get a histomatic response within your body and blow up. All kinds of things happen to you that are not pleasant. So you have to whack it back, and you do that by flipping your body's pH and back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Don't drink alcohol under any circumstances. That's its favorite food. Corn is also up there. Anything with sugar on it turns to sugar. It's off. It's an incredible battle. But the thing is I got hit really hard, and there's a radioactive element in the back. Once it's concentrated, there is radioactivity of some sort back there. I was thinking it might have been beryllium. But anyway, so we pulled the radioactivity out, that element, with the bath salts that we made, and I kept a bunch of them. It's vibratory. What happens is it's not like salts. Well, there's a lot of salt in it per se, but it's actually grown. It takes a series of months to make it, 3 months. That's why another reason why we got this place, because it had a huge yard, about a 9-car garage carport thing in the back with a roof on top. Just, a total giant roof on the top, a deck. And then another small 1-bedroom house in the back for storage, a little studio, whatever, but for paper and the art things. And then humongous old growth trees and what have you. We brought everything back. In fact, the avocados were like 3 times bigger So it was a really good bio experiment. And the strange things was we were sitting right on top of a really dangerous, hazardous waste dump. And the guy, they hauled everything out of there illegally, of course. And I got the dump ticket. It was just Providence. I even got the.
We had to leave so much stuff.
We had to leave so much stuff because the city wouldn't let us move it. They said it was hazardous waste, and they knew what was there, that it was contaminated with sewage. But they pulled the water wouldn't let us wash anything. So went around to the neighborhood, told no one to let us have any water or electricity or anything, or they would be penalized. And I had that in writing. So it's been this thing. The city got involved on July 23rd, 2010, via a hazmat call I made. The city was there earlier in the day without our presence.
Well, evidently the city was involved long before we moved in.
Oh yeah, because
there's a whole list.
There's a list of people that were there.
Inspection.
Yeah, they refused to do an occupancy there, but they returned the power on and all that. So
showing the city going against their own rules.
Well, yeah, completely.
Grande.
Yeah, and working together. So, but anyway, on the positive note, right now this is like I feel good and positive. Like I have some hope here, and all I'm saying is love has brought me through this, and not only that, every ounce of brain power that I have, which has been a real challenge, because what happens is that it's like meningitis, where the plates of your top of your cranium actually and the sides will actually shift and change shape, creating, in my case, a sharp crown. Angular point on my top of my head. But you can see people in the neighborhood being affected by this property, and they walk around and they hit their heads at night because they can't sleep, and they're in that neighborhood, and you can see it. 2194, 2192 Corso Street.
You see new ones.
So this is a warning. The guy that went in there to remove the trash, he got nosebleed, sick, and he was just walking around in a stunned daze. He brought his little girl in there, a little tiny girl, must have been maybe 4.5.
And small to the ground.
And next to the ground, knowing that this guy, he moved all this shit out, got nosebleeds, got all fucked up when he hit the dirt.
And then he brings his daughter.
The dirt made him really sick. Moving the dirt, that's what he said was the worst. And he hadn't even got, he goes on that dirt. And see, yeah, we were in it. See, we survived. And the crazy thing was like, you get so high. People would just leave all their tools there. You don't realize you're getting high. The firemen even got high there. They didn't even know they were getting high until I pointed it out to them. And then, I did that because what I had to do was we had so much stuff there. We had semi-trucks, truck and trailers, maybe 4, 5, more, with the wood and all the other stuff. Anyway, a lot of stuff in this place, okay? And we just got raped so bad and continuously, but what we've done is we're going to be immune to this, and that's all. It's what you have to do is you have to make the earth your friend again, and you have to love it. You have to reach out and actually love the planet, love the earth, love the dirt. You can start out by loving a plant that's touching the ground. You'll be amazed. If you just look at it and just tell it how much you love it and how pretty it is, even if it's not pretty and broken and just all messed up, but you start to talk to it, and something will happen. It will. And everything is like that. Everything is made up of tiny little particles, all humming around. Atoms, stardust. It's the same as the stars. Exactly. Same as the universe. Looking out, solar systems and everything. And it's small. And then there's things in there small, small. So we're just little particles formed by thought, formed by sheer will. And it's with that will that we can reach out and heal this place, and heal each other. It's true. It's true. I found the worst thing at that property, and I had to make friends with it based on my faith. It was like a buzzsaw, hundreds of them going off in my head. People would come by at night and just scream, and they had to do it, and you'd hear it everywhere. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. It's like that. And voices, just anger, 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 anger. And so I just kept loving the ground and putting love into the plants and the trees and everything. And soon, things happened. And I realized that when the spill happened and all that made me realize that I was killing it. And I heard it scream. And I was using natural stuff, but really high alkaline and super, and it screamed. I heard it. And so I made a deal with it. It's a strange, funny story, but we worked with each other. And it told me what it needed. And it showed me things. And I showed it things. And right now, in order for a balance to take place on this planet, we need more oxygen. And for that to happen, the things of this planet have to learn new tricks. And what I mean by the things is the hive consciousness of the bacteria, the fungus, and what have you. They have to learn new tricks so they can break through the oil that we've created and brought up and putting back out and smothering everything. So these are simple tricks, and all of us can use them. And it's just so simple that I'm looking at this line of chems right here that everyone has in their house, and hair products and this and that, and I'm just going, oh my God. A handful goes so far, anyway, way off the point, but I'm into that. So the research I had over there going for $7 months prior, 8 months, I put back into the earth so I could do something with all the sewage that came out. It was over 1,500 gallons, and it was trapped underneath the house in a man-made vault that was done on purpose to allow the sewage to leach out through the newly buried, like 8 years old, 5 years old, electric lines. And this was then cut off so it would go into the aforementioned sludge that covers the backyard to keep the sludge alive. So the bacteria in the sludge would eat the TCEs, the this, the that, whatever the fuck is down there. So all firemen, rescue people, everyone like that. I got tapes where Sammy Matsuri has threatened me, and he told me, he outlined what would happen, that there was being set up for arson and this and that, and so it was just this whole fear thing, and the people going by in the really nice $130,000 sports cars, and up and down, pointing their fingers at me and the gun thing and all the other stuff, and not being able to stay there because it was too damn toxic, and not have any help from the city. It was just like really fun. It was interesting. It was quite the game of chess, and that's how I can put it, or chess or whatever. But it was God. The ground rose up and it helped us. There's no other way about it. We lost, like I lost everyone I knew, my friends, my family even. And they spent a fortune on this. I know, I had federal people involved. There's just like so many wrong things. But that's not here. I can't fight it. The courts even threw the open and shut. It's not fightable. I can't fight City Hall. My point is this: beware of that place. Beware of others like it. And if it happens to you and you happen to get poisoned, there's a way through it. And you know, like I said, we should have died. We would have been dead long ago from the exposure that we got. We have no sense of smell. You know, we have that in common. We both are asthmatic. We have that in common. And things like that. I always have wet lungs. And so that and both of us do. So our lungs are clear, which is actually kind of cool. Because like, we have all these allergies and stuff. So when I went to get my lungs x-rayed, they were clear. That was, about 6-8 months before, maybe a year before I moved into Corson. They were clear, but we restored the place. We made it beautiful. It was, inside it was just, it had a fire going all the time. So it's been really hard not to hate, and really hard not to, really hard to stay positive and stuff, and sometimes is can't think. Now I wonder who this is. I knew it. It's yiupinh. See, so really hard to stay positive in this. Ooh, maybe I put something up on her. Gotta make sure. I gotta close them all down. See what she says. A nice threat. We're surrounded by. Yiupinh Lee is another girl that at her shop. She's part of this program, A Machine, and inside of her own place. See, we don't have any. It's like we're not looking for revenge. We're not looking for anything like that. And it's like we've been so taken advantage of because we're nice. And you know, Felicia's had identity theft like you wouldn't believe. The bank of Wells Fargo has just robbed her blind. And you know, I'm trying to get these things rectified, and they keep opening the account up and slamming charges through it. And so I'm collecting charges, so I can't close the accounts, but they closed one because it's outright bank fraud. So this, you know, we're in just like really weird times here, and to want to fight back is good. But great care must be taken, because in fighting things you become it. We become what we fight. We become what we love. And we have the power to change.
Huh?
We have the power to change. So that's what this is about. Is like this place. We went through the papers, and we got all this stuff we have to address and do, and there's just, you know, it's been one guy. She's been, you know, doing stuff, but you know, against the city, and just to keep us alive, and she's been keeping us alive, and we've been putting our energy together to keep things balanced and alive, you know. People are going to be really pissed when they see that this stuff. Certain people are, I guess. I mean, who gives a damn? The only thing is we have to put this. This has got to be out before we don't have a voice. And that could be, you know, we don't know, anytime. I mean, we both go through near-death things. But we've also rebuilt our body, and we have this technology. And so I knew that this would be a long, arduous trip. And I've been taking back our DNA by reprogramming it. And I brought papers into our environment. I mean, of course, anytime we pop the cork, anything, it's going to get out. But it takes over. It just takes over. So anyway, so here's the thing: is that it takes over everywhere. Now you don't notice it, even though everything looks clean. It's really not, unless it's you have a magnet. Now, what I've discovered is a way to magnetize the things out of the air, pull it to the wall, and then like repel it out in kind of a way. It flashes it. So without killing it or without harming its ability and hurting the environment, what I've been doing, and I did at this house, you can see it, is actually take a rotten wood that was inside the walls, because this water in every corner of the house is building up under the house, and actually clean the black rotten wood and then infuse it with a special method I've been playing with for years, and infuse it. But it was here that I really nailed it, and with minerals, and using this technique. It was the only thing in that yard, that house, whatever, that didn't get destroyed once the ground was opened up, and that safety barrier, the cap on top of the whatever is under there, was breached by my pressure washer when I was opening the ground up, so I could fold in all the sewage that was coming through the trough when I was draining the underneath of the house, because the city wouldn't come and help. And I called every department and everything, and the people that we leased the property didn't come. They did come. They came and saw and promised everything, but nothing happened. And I ended up, it just, one thing out, you know, it just was like, okay, just clean up, you know, and fix a pipe, and it just went on. And I just couldn't believe it. Things were done on purpose to make that place the way it was, and to use victims in order to make black water that they desperately needed in there. The water itself that comes through there is open, it never stops. Even though they turn it off, they leave the water trickling. And because if the ground gets dry, it'll crack and then release all the vapors all at once. And then it'll be evident. So they didn't turn the water off all the way, and that's why it's still pressured, it still leaks. So you know, you'll see this stuff, and there's the story. Again, only love, man. We gotta just, there's things in here that are negative, and stuff like that. Of course, I mean, we were just totally hosed. The court, even the court documents. I had to fight my way into court, and you're gonna hear those things. But by the clerk, and everything was changed. And there's no way that anyone should have allowed that through. We even had a lawyer, and also we didn't even need a lawyer because there was simply no occupancy permit by the charter, and we didn't know that until I went down to the city and looked around to find out where the plans for the pipe was, so I could hook the pipe up. We were invested just too deep to just sit there and walk away like an apartment. No, it was just structures, and I cleared. I even cleared the trees and trimmed them. I had to because it was like a forced thing, and then I took the matter upon myself. I just looked at it as an opportunity and made it beautiful. And that's what I am. I'm an artist, and I've been a refugee, and I haven't been doing art. I don't know what I've been doing. Fighting with people and documenting things, and but it's really difficult. You just want to scream and just rage, and you can't because your anger will take you down. And see, that's basically in the Bible. I don't like quoting the Bible, but there's a lot of good stuff in there. But one of them is the Armageddon thing. Well, not the Armageddon thing, but the part where it says, "The meek shall inherit the earth." And that's real. Because the meek, they're not going to sneak up and rob your ass. They're not going to get in your face and start punching on you and try to rape you. They're not going to try to, take what's not theirs, because they're meek, they're humble. They have an awe for this whole universe, this whole planet, each other, everything. It's just an amazing work of art. Everything. God wants everything, all of us. And in that, we can all be redeemed. We can. We're the brothers and sisters of a lot of prophets. And we're all the same. We all have the same stuff. Some of us choose to use it in a way that's unbecoming of their own spirit. We all do that. We all do that. I like the teachings of Jesus. It's a quick, very simple, very easy, very good thing. It's forgiveness. And it's in all religions. But forgiveness and love, and you have to shake your boots up. It's the moment you pick up the tools of the demon, you become the demon. You just do. So you have to use every bit of your mind, your willpower, everything, in order to figure out how not to become violent, how not to become hateful and scornful, and how not to give up and have faith. And sometimes it just takes seeing the faith in another person to realize you got faith in yourself. Or maybe forgetting ourselves for a minute, doing something for someone else. Or standing up for our rights. After this, I see something wrong, I'm jumping. I mean, I always have, but I mean, my God. Yupin's really upset that we're talking. Yupin's really upset that we're talking. This is another really interesting thing. Anyway, there it is. I've gone through like heart attacks. If you go through, you have a heart attack, hyperventilate. Guy told me that a long time ago. He was cool. Hyperventilate your brains out, and then you got to calm yourself on within the inside. And you know the best, the one thing that everything responds to in this world, well, is love. And it's just an amazing thing. And love is what the earth wants. The earth wants our love. Simple as that. We're being farmed. And that much is pretty much clear to me. That we're being farmed as a group somehow. And you know, I'm not going to say all matrixy like, but somehow we're being farmed for a bigger thing. And it's our love that it wants. That's what it wants. And the opposite of love is not hate. It's indifference. To turn your back on something is the opposite of love. So if you're focusing on something, thinking that you're hating on it, you're not. You just have things you got to work out. That's all. Once the lesson is complete, then you get to go on to the next one. So know that there's a way, and just stay close to earth. Drink lots of veggies. Pray a lot. And know that it's going to be okay. Peace. Peace. This might be the end of the line for us. This might be the end of the line for us, you know that.
Today?
No, I mean, you know, by posting anything. By posting anything, I think we should go through and just see what's out there and just kind of check it out a little bit. Pull it back.
What were we going to do tonight? We were going to write a letter.
I'm going to write a letter.
We need to fund new thing. I can't go look at that stuff right now. New person
Anyway, and it's so much, it's weird. See, there's like all this energy. See, there's a lot of voodoo in the world now. People think it's cool.
Yeah, a lot of people do it.
But it's not cool. There is a way to do voodoo that's the same. But it's cool. It's the end result. See, we're all coming into this world with the same tools. We do. Some of us have unique qualities about us. But nonetheless, we have the same tools. Some tools are a little bigger, etc. But everyone has a special tool. Everyone belongs here. Everyone's supposed to be here. Everybody. Because everyone's good at something. And that's the thing, is to view people without prejudice at all. You can hear them, and you can therefore hear yourself. Because I've never met anyone I didn't learn something from somehow. And therefore I like everyone I met. I don't like what they do, so I forgive the person, but not the deed. I just, the deed I forgive, but the person, you know. I allow for redemption. Yeah, that's. Yeah, I loathe to say the word Christianity, because I'm not a Christian per se, but I believe in Jesus, the teachings of Jesus. I believe in the teachings of many things.
Buddha's got some good stuff.
Buddha's got some great stuff. I mean, you know, the whole point.
Some good stuff too.
Yeah, and everyone, Muhammad and everybody. See, they all had one thing, and it got twisted, and that's herein where you have the word religion, and it's a separation of spirit, earth, and person, because it means isolation. If we don't have any isolation, it's just, you know, there's people want to say talk about God, but there's only one God, ultimately, and that's everything. You want to hear what she says?
Yeah. Huh?
When
Huh?
you
You want me to show you? Okay. Put it down so I can see. You go like this.
I got it with Ziggy.
Oh. And then you hit this. This little scrolls right here.
Yeah.
That means tape. Voicemail. You have to hit that. See here. Shut up.
New messages. 19 saved messages. First new message. Received yesterday at 3:59 p.m. Message saved. Next message from phone number 62648322242. Received yesterday at 5:24 p.m. Hi, Louise. This is the case assistant. Yeah, Tuesday at 3:30 will be fine. So, see you then. Thanks. Bye. Message saved. Next message from 415-637-6289. Received yesterday at 6:17 p.m. That's a good message. Message saved. Next message. driving with the defense company because you go like the Casa, the number 323-369-3321. To replay, press 4. To erase, press 7.
You pick up her stuff.
Save message save.
Now she just wants
First,
to.
save message from phone number 626-824-5060. Received September 23rd at 3:55 p.m.
Hit star.
Actually, this is Lily.
That's not the way to do it.
When she wants to type that slide,
Hit the phone again. But return to call in progress. Middle one. Now, in it, the red one. Slide it. Or you can hit that little scroll bar. The one that says like a paper.
They need a demand. They need some. We need some letters.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, we already knew they were freaking liars. The son called. Oh yeah, when can we come pick it up? He didn't go.
Huh?
He was supposed to leave last week. He was supposed to leave the week before. He's fucking living there. He's not in New York. He's alive. The dad's dead. Yes.
All right. Well, you need to give. I need an inventory. We'll deal with that later.
Huh?
She owes you like $2,000. Well, it's $500 for the first, probably $7 for the second. That's 12. That's $1,200 plus the next one, which would be probably $200-300. That's 15. Okay, now what happened to the back bar? That's $400 right there, man.
Yeah.
Easily. She fucking fuck all those chems up. She did. She went and you were paying her $20 a pop for top quality chemicals to and be replaced. That was your back bar when you began.
I took out a new Hair Fitness and I took out a new K-Pack.
Okay, well, I need that on. I need that. So we can deduct that off, but then there's other things that need to be replaced as well. All right, not to mention the money for the thing, and she still hasn't given you the figures. And her son-in-law is a lawyer. Come to find out, is a lawyer. I mean, what the fuck is that?
See, I need to put that in writing.
We did.
No, they never knew that. Huh?
We did. So yeah, it's been an agitation. There's a lot of people out there
I'm
that
so
are,
glad she's gone though.
oh my god.
It's like the new people coming in, but everyone's all happy now. It's weird. I'm like, wow, everyone's so fucking happy now. Thanks for these. And they just smile ear to ear. And they give me the whole tip. Thank you for not letting her fuck with my head. I just wanted a good haircut.
Unbelievable. So anyways, so that's got to be dealt with.
Yeah.
The best way to do that is to ask what's his name how to proceed.
Oh, Ogden?
Not him.
Or the collection guy?
Collection guy.
Sorry.
We just got to face everything, dude, and go. And you know, the thing is God, I found, man, I just not being able to rely on my fucking brain is like, it's made me want to fucking shoot myself in the head. And that was the hardest thing to go
Let's
through.
call the doctor tomorrow morning. Say, go get your meds.
I think I should find it. I've been taking,
Dude,
yeah.
let's just get some new ones. As long as they're available. Maybe if you find the other one, you can collect them. Mid-month or whatever.
I think I could just. I think if I do that, I feel better now. I just fucking hate the fact that I go in and out. I'm willing to put up with much not to.
Keep you from being an asshole.
Strike that from the record. Oh, is this thing still running? I
You'd
can't.
be too smart then, you know.
I need some baking soda, man. I got some serious.
You know when someone's too smart.
Yeah.
You know when they think you know all that.
I don't think I'm all that. I think I'm like an idiot. That's for sure. I do. I feel like
I know
I
you don't. You're the nicest person.
am.
I just have to give you a little,
Look at this. My hair. I'm looking at this. My hair matches my shirt. My hair and
little
mustache.
newbies.
You're right. I am green. My hair and my mustache match the shirt. Yeah, I'm getting
That's
major
called
chest hair.
ash.
Ash.
Ash is green.
Ash means green. Really? When can my mom
Yeah.
come and pick up my stuff? Where's the money? See, they're tripping, man. They're just gonna be blowing chunks. Hey, we need to drink. We need to drink up. Hey, how do you like the bath, by the way? It was the goofiest look I've seen in a while. I like it.
Feels very nice. Nothing hurts right now. Even soaking my neck. So.
Nothing hurts. I need some baking soda. I've got like.
See, that's what it's all about. It's just picking up her stuff. The thing is, I'll tell you what they were going to do. They were coming.
Hold on. Go on.
I had the feeling that they were just going to come in and, she'd like sit down and go, okay, let's talk. And then they'll be like taking all their shit outside.
Yeah.
And then she'll go, oh, well, I gotta go.
What about all your shit, dude? You got her.
She'll throw a fit and then I'll.
You got it. You got her on tape going through your purse.
Yeah.
This is weird. See, look at this. See, I'm bloating, and I can't even fit in these pants right here. And I shape shift every day.
Last week they
Not
were
even.
falling off his butt.
No, it's like that quick. So I need to clean up and continue on my quest here and wash the walls with the oxygen, and it gives you instant this thing, it gives you instant, it gives you energy just by exposing the room to these materials.
I feel acid